Anne, you couldn't have done this unless you either had a very, very well-paying job, or you had more than one or two or three jobs.
Whoa, Mushfika, that was like, I'm now currently, I'm teaching at 3 different schools. I'm doing motivational talks at various governmental, at corporate level, at schools, at churches. I'm doing emceeing work all over. And you know what? When you could demand your price, it was different. Now, I would do something for 500 Rand. Why? Because 500 Rand is going to put a week's food on my table. Or it's going to pay a debt.
But did you not discover that when you had nothing, you discovered how valuable what you didn't have was?
Yes. And I'm not a money person. Because like I said to you last week, if you had to come to me and you'd say to me, Annie, I have no food in my house, I will take that 500 Rand and I will give you 250 of that 500 Rand.
But again, you've also then come to discover on how little we can get by when we do cut out the luxuries.
Yes. You don't need, I think it's got a good path to do with for your body. Because at that appointed time, I weighed 107. I've come down to 75 now. And it's the simple things that count. I don't do gym anymore. I do gym at home.
At home, you don't have the gym contract
No.
on which you have to pay a monthly
Yes,
fee.
I had to stop it. But first you're afraid to stop it because you need it. So I kind of push it right to the end. Because you kind of think now it's the right thing.
To the bread line.
To the bread line, and then they can phone you. Because your mind is now set. The phone call's going to come anyway. At which stage of the game do you say it needs to stop? And that was a spiritual journey for me.
Do you think that people, like with addiction, need to hit rock bottom before they make the change in their lifestyle?
Yes. I don't even think that you need to hit rock bottom. I think you need to just acknowledge.
There we go.
You need to acknowledge that you are in serious trouble. Maybe if it was your doing, maybe it is not your doing. Maybe bad things happen to good people. But you need to start acknowledging. If you don't start acknowledging this, you're going to go and guess what? You're going to see Mushfika and you're going to say, Mushfika, I don't have bread on my table, give me 10 Rand. And then you're going to go to your brother and you go to your sister and you're going to go to your friends. And you're going to start lending.
Then you're going to owe everybody money, and then you're not going to be able to face these people.
Exactly.
Then you start ignoring the phone calls of friends and families.
Yes.
And it's that vicious circle that we often get caught up in. I do find from working in this industry that there is so much guilt and shame associated with debt. Something that I don't really understand, because we have over 10 million people in South Africa with impaired credit records. But something that I do find to this day is that people are scared, they are shy, they are embarrassed to speak about their debt situation. They are scared to raise their hands and say, hey, I'm not able to cope. You know what, I'm struggling. You know what, I'm overwhelmed. Do you think that if we had a more open outlook towards debt, people would be in a better situation?
They definitely would be. Because, the program that was aired, you posted it on Sunday night to my Facebook page. And I think my phone has not stopped ringing. So now I must make a new discernment. And I have to say, okay, fine, now, I can't help these people, but I can give them the advice that you gave me, and I can then forward your telephone number to each one of them. I'm looking now at a lady, and I see myself in her.
Because there are nearly 10 million credit active South Africans within the same situation. And once we can see that there are other people in the same situations that we are, we can actually start talking about it. We can actually start saying, you know what, there is a solution. There is light at the end of the tunnel. This is what you must follow. These are the steps to follow. This is where to go to. And I do think that when we start speaking about it, and there's dialogue and there's debate, and we don't even have to have consensus about it, but when we start speaking about this problem, we will see that there are solutions. Have you found that?
Yes, there is. And there's a lot of solutions. You need to keep your handle on it. You need to say every single month, I'm going out, maybe I'm going to be earning in this week 3,000 Rand. What are you going to do with that money now? You know, when this happens to you, Mushfika, you also have the escalated debts. Because there's the debt that you're already sitting in, and then there's the added debt that are coming with that. Because on everything, there's interest added. And that interest actually is almost like they're insulting you with that interest. But when you look at it from a business perspective, you need to understand they've got employees that they need to pay. Sometimes I think if you're sitting with a debt of 2,000 Rand and you have received 40 phone calls in like 10 days, it costs a lot more money to actually do that. But you can't just say, I'm going to take this 3,000 and just to get you off my back. Because you need to understand, if there are 30 people that you are owing money to, you must go and sit and you must go and negotiate with each and every one of them.